A very good morning and welcome to this talk on relationships. Actually, although it's about communication, what do you use communication for? You use it to secure your relationships. Okay, what does a secure relationship mean? In a secure relationship, there is open communication, and you don't have to experience a lack of support because of this open communication, and you will experience collaboration, proper collaboration, and cooperation, and things like that. And having that person in your life will make your life infinitely easier. How many people are in a relationship and feel that because of this, their life has become infinitely easier? You can leave this talk. But otherwise, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so everybody needs this. Please get a notebook and take notes, pay attention, and I'm going to, of course, answer some of the questions, which are, of course, adding value. So that I'll do in the end. Okay, but let me just open it anyway on my computer. If human beings learn this subject, they will not have any obstacles in their life because all the obstacles actually come from people. When people work together, they remove obstacles. But when they don't work together, they create obstacles more and more. Okay. So why can't I find this? Just a minute. It's okay. Can you just pass me my mobile? That one. That one. Thanks. All right. I had found it on this. Just a minute. Hang on. Hang on. Sometimes things act weird and you find it on your mobile, but you can't find it on your laptop, and so on and so forth. If you communicate like this computer communicates, then you'll have bad relationship. And then you'll have to just tolerate it like I tolerate this computer. Okay, very good. I found it also. We're good. Okay, thank you for your patience. Let's continue. Where are we? Okay, so who's here? Good morning, Preetham. Good morning, Divya. Morning, Shobha. Morning, Rajesh. Morning, Vivek. Say hello if you're here. All right, great. So let's begin. Uh, let's talk about the types of communication, okay? Yeah, here we go. The yoga of communication, okay? So, communication is of two types. What are they? Explicit and implied, okay? Two types. And let's look at explicit communication. What is it? It is the communication that the words actually say. Okay, it's what the words are saying. Okay, and implied communication is what the words are not saying. Okay, have you washed your hands today? What does it mean? What does it say? Have you washed your hands today means what? That you have a problem washing your hands, isn't it? Have you washed your hands is different, but have you washed your hands today? When I say I've already said that you have a habit of not washing your hands every day, and therefore I'm checking up on you, and because I don't trust you, and I'm just double checking for my own safety because I feel threatened by you, so much has been implied. You understanding it? Okay. If everybody understood implied, then say I in the chat box. Okay. Just type I in the chat box. If you understood what is implied, I'll give you another example. Um, so if people ask you something like, "You are growing plants? You are growing plants?" Now, what is explicit is, are you growing plants? It's a question. Are you growing plants? When I ask like this, it's a question, okay? But the expression and the facial features, are you growing? You are growing plants. When I do this with my face, then the other person looking at my face and they have got all the communication that I never expected you, who is a lazy slob, who is uh, who is completely useless at other things, to do something useful. Could be implied in that. Okay, and we hear that. Now, Shobha's got an example saying, "Have you stopped beating your wife?" This is not a, yes, there is implied, but this is a special case of implied, which is called a presupposition. The presupposition is there in the sentence itself. More would be like, "Have you stopped sending your wife to hospital?" Or maybe I don't know. Yeah. So there's a slight difference between presuppositions and implications, because with presuppositions we are only seeing our point of view, but and it comes out in that sentence itself, because beating is there, and this is actually not, there's not much implied here other than you are beating your wife, have you stopped beating your wife, like. But when there is a implication on the level, when you read it, there'll be like, "Oh, you are growing plants." If somebody reads that without the expression, they wouldn't even know. Or, "Have you washed your hands today?" When that happens, that it, on the surface it can seem like an easy question. Like this one will, it's clear that you've already accused this person of beating their wife. So this would be something explicit, actually, not very implied in this. Okay, so implications are more subtle, and your subconscious catches it. Boom. So that's what it is. Yeah. So Divish is saying, "Can you really cook?" Yeah. So this one might be, this could be a lot is implied here. Like, you don't look like someone who can cook, and I wouldn't trust you anywhere near my food. And do you even know how to make a meal without burning the kitchen down? Like, so many things, so many can be heard inside. Inside differently can be heard. Okay. But on the surface, it makes you wonder whether, are you really imagining all this? Are you hearing all this in your imagination? Or did they really say it? And so the conscious mind will be in doubt, but the unconscious mind is in no doubt. It grabs that and switches off. Okay. So that's the difference. Have you gone to gym today? Yeah. This can imply that there are days when you don't go to gym. So it says you're very irregular with your workout, something like that. Okay, you guys are getting it. Are constant reminders about tasks and implication that you're not capable? Yes, yes, indeed. Okay, somebody goes on reminding you about tasks, why you get angry, not because they reminded you, because you haven't done it yet. So you should not get angry for that. You should be like thankful. But instead of thankful, why we get angry? Because the implication is there is you can't be trusted. That is a big implication. If you tell someone you can't be trusted, they get mad. Okay, so don't do that. And are you a healer really? Yeah, this also. This means like you don't look like you can heal anything. You can't heal a mosquito bite. Kind of very aggressive attack on the healer, right? Okay, everyone's getting it. Great guess, but because you're living it. I was sure you'll get this. Good job. All right. So now you know that these things are happening. Be careful. Okay. When you make explicit communication, make sure that it's clear. Okay. Can you take the trash out on the weekends because I need a break from this task on weekends? It will be a big support for me. Easy, clear. You can visualize this taking the trash out, supporting you on the weekend, and you being in trouble because somehow you're getting some kind of burnout when you think of taking the trash out on Saturday and Sunday. Now, they were not blamed in this. This is a request, isn't it? There's nothing to get angry about this. But distracting message will be like this. Why do you always forget to allow me to rest as if you don't care about me on weekends? Even though I do my best to care all week, I shouldn't have to tell you your weekend tasks. This complex, vague communication, nobody will get it, right? Can you pass a water, please? Isn't it? It's a complex and vague communication, and it's not easy to visualize. You see? How do you visualize this? Why do you always forget to allow me to rest as if you don't care about me on the weekends? What? So the person doesn't know what they did wrong, right? It's like after a dog breaks something, you come in the evening, then you take the dog near that thing, and then you slap the dog, and the dog is like, I don't understand what I'm being slapped for, because dog has forgotten that it broke it. Okay, so then this person will be confused like that dog. Okay, so it's open to many interpretations, right? You don't understand what's going on here. It's not clear. So please make your explicit communication clear. And when you imply something, be conscious. I mean, it's difficult to be conscious, but I'll tell you the technique today. Okay. So the implied communication, let's get into this. It's very complex, right? The subconscious hears it, and the conscious mind usually misses it. So it directly creates reaction in the body and the emotions. Okay. It gets past your conscious mind and it directly becomes a feeling. And you don't know why you're feeling shit. Why am I feeling drained after having this conversation with all my relatives? I'm feeling drained out. I went out with these friends. They were drinking and talking, but after I coming back, I feel drained out. I thought I would enjoy getting high with friends, but it didn't happen. I got drained out. Okay, that's because the body and the emotions are feeling. The subconscious is creating changes by hearing the implication. The implication is always putting you in danger. That's why don't joke. Some people go and they think it's a sign of affection that they can joke with someone. But when you make a joke with someone, the subconscious hears it, and suddenly there are a lot of these defenses which come up inside. Even if you're a close friend, you can't go on pulling their leg, and they won't enjoy it. Like not even once. Nobody enjoys being having their leg pulled, right? So you can't go on, uh, you know, calling someone something, right? You all get together and name one guy Kabutar. Now everyone is calling him Kabutar, and you're thinking that he's feeling good about it, that he responds his name. He just gave up. He didn't know what else to do, so he gave up. He said, like, yeah, it's okay, man. I'll let them call me Kabutar. At least if I agree to that, I'll have some friends. But inside the subconscious is hearing that these people don't value you. So stop calling people nicknames unless they gave themselves that name. Okay. So that they would want to be called. Somebody calls himself Tiger, and you have to also call him Tiger. He feels very tigerish after that, right? So that's fine. All right. Yeah. Ashwin, you're right. Or are you going to the gym and you emphasize the you? It's all the facial expression, right? You're right. Mangesh is saying, this is my reality. There's no clear and concise communication. I have to figure it out. Yeah, I'll teach you today to figure it out. Don't worry. Okay. All right. So the subconscious hears it and it creates responses in the body right away. Okay. Now, here are some negative implications, right? At least support me on weekends. It implies that the person doesn't support you on weekends. Your house looks clean today implies the person is an unclean person on other days. Well done for a girl implies boys are way better at this. No? Negative implications. But you can also have positive implications. Did you know that? You look extra determined today implies that they always look determined. Right? I knew your house would be beautiful implies they have great taste in living spaces. I'm not surprised you won implies they are a winner and not a loser. So the subconscious hears that and people will get double happy if you make positive implications. But I'm telling you, implications cannot be done consciously because they'll appear fake. If you try to do it consciously, people will catch it like bana raha hai mere ko, chada raha hai. Okay? So it won't work. You have to genuinely feel positive about the person. And only then there will be positive implication automatically. No mehnat required. Okay? You just have to feel positive about them. Sort out your feelings. Why did I start feeling shit about this person, right? Okay, this is the most important thing why you guys all came here. Okay? Learn this. Men feel loved when their partner supports them to release dopamine. Okay? Women feel loved when their partner supports them to release oxytocin. Doesn't matter what the partnership is, whether it's your father or your lover or your colleague or anything. The women feel supported and loved when the partner supports them to release oxytocin. Okay, so apply this even to work relationships. Understand this difference between men and women. Okay, this means men find partners who support, strategize, and prioritize their goals as attractive and valuable. Okay, that means who is a man finding valuable and attractive? I'm not talking only about romantic relationships, guys. All relationships, all men. Okay, men find partners who support because this is how our brain is different from women's brain. It's not the same brain. Okay, that's why men and women are always having trouble uh, valuing each other because they don't know. Even in work environment, men and women don't value each other because they feel that the other person doesn't value the same thing. So it's time to understand the other gender properly. Okay, the other biological gender. I know there are 5,600 genders right now, so I can't keep up. I'm sorry, but uh, you know, I mean, I can keep up. Don't worry. Don't feel bad. I'll keep up. Okay, but I'm talking about biological gender here. All right. So those who have testosterone more and who produce more less female hormones in their brain, there'll be a different structure. Okay, and the embryo's brain is washed with testosterone if it's going to be a male. This creates strong biological changes while female is the default. If that testosterone wash was not strong, then you have intersex children being born with both genitals. Okay, so if there was a strong testosterone wash in the womb, then it turns out to be a male. If there's no testosterone wash, it remains as a female. Okay, I mean, regardless of the chromosomes, the XY and XX are there, but that wash is important to determine the degree of maleness or femaleness. But there's a variation in the degree of maleness and femaleness, okay, depending on how much testosterone got released in that womb. That's why you have the spectrum of gender. Uh, but the chromosomes are, of course, undebatable. Women have XX, men have XY. Okay, so now you know who's a woman and who's a man. Good. So moving forward, this means men find partners who strategize and prioritize their goals as attractive and valuable. Okay, to be. Should add to be. Okay. Women find partners valuable and attractive when their partner looks them in the eyes, cuddles them, makes them feel safe and heard, spends time talking about their feelings. Don't cuddle your office ladies now. Okay. In this specific case, I was talking about romantic relationships, but it's important to be there in a body language that shows that kind of emotion where you're holding her. Okay. And immediately, and listen. If you listen and feel safe and heard about everything that is expended and are talking about their feelings, then they release oxytocin. Okay, women release oxytocin anyway. Even if you don't support them, they'll do. Uh, even men also, they'll release dopamine anyway. Okay, but there are illegal ways to receive, not illegal, but uh, illicit ways, because those the brain finds out that this has been released without the actual situation. You released oxytocin. You can release oxytocin by complaining. Did you know that? That's all you have to do. That's why women, a lot of them complain because they need that oxytocin. They're not getting it from the man. So by complaining, they just release oxytocin. But this is internal narcotics. And the brain realizes, hey, wait, where's the affection? It's not there. And then it takes back all that oxytocin. And then you're back to stage one. So it doesn't work. It's the same for men. They find dopamine in other things, right? Porn, for example. Uh, it becomes a goal. And they feel that somebody is supporting them in that goal. All this is happening, and dopamine is being released at orgasm for men. And then it's withdrawn immediately. In a few minutes, they're feeling like shit again. Okay, so that's one example. Or just some meaningless pursuits, like take up some hobby for no reason. Yeah, there are enough mechanics in the world, but start repairing your own bike. No, like this. And they release that dopamine, and they realize, okay, if I do this every week, it will release dopamine. So the man has learned to release dopamine on his own. And he doesn't need the woman anymore because he's figured out a way to release dopamine. Eating food, just eat food, and you release dopamine. Okay, that's it. And then this is very costly because the brain withdraws it. And when it withdraws it, you get into addiction. So, this is the main reason for addiction cycles in both men and women. Getting addicted to a method of releasing oxytocin. Sexual addiction is also that. Okay, so if a woman is not getting all of the foreplay, and she's only getting penetrative sex, then she starts looking for that in other men, and she becomes addicted to that because she doesn't really need a long-term relationship or anything. She just needs oxytocin in a legal manner. And she finds that when she has more affairs with three, four men, and she can get more oxytocin in a legal manner, and she continues with that. This is the same reason that men chase younger women, and with the hope that they'll find that support which they're not getting from their wife. Okay, okay. I hope you understood the psychology now. Now let's talk about relationship death. Everyone's favorite topic that's happening to them. The relationship dies when women belittle the man's goals by not supporting and prioritizing their goals, and not being valuable by contributing their strategic intuition. Did you know that women have strategic intuition? And this is how their brains are wired. More areas of the sensory, more sensory inputs leads to more analysis inside the brain. Okay, uh, the female brain is smaller, but it does more processing. Okay, just because your iPhone is smaller doesn't mean it's not doing more processing. And there comes something which is very reliable, which is women's intuition. Now a lot of jokes have been made about this, right? Like, but it's true. It's something that really exists, and men need that. If they don't have that, then it's a problem, right? So maybe you got a female boss, okay, and you worked all night on some kind of presentation, and then you're showing it to her, and she's saying, "No, this won't work." and you're getting irritated saying she just wants to be the boss lady, right? But the the problem is that she still hasn't articulated why it won't work. So ladies, you should learn how to quickly articulate why you think it won't work, because women always know whether something's going to work or not. They look at it and they're like, yeah, I don't think this will work. Okay, because so much supercomputer processing has happened, but this is not valued by men. Okay, so if men start, this is actually shut down by men, because the way women communicate that is like, there'll be so many implications that you're an idiot in that, the way that is communicated. So men are like, I don't need you. And that's what happens, and that's how the relationship dies. Okay, when they don't see value in women, and women don't show value also, instead of showing value, they're showing implications that you're an idiot. You don't show value by saying you're better. You don't give value by saying that you're better. That doesn't give value to anyone. It takes away their value. Okay? So instead of giving value, women are taking away the value of men. And that's why they're losing their men also. Okay? So you can see, if the shoe fits, wear it. Okay? If the shoe is not fitting you, there's probably this one. The relationship is dying because the man belittles the woman by not being interested in her feelings and needs, and doesn't communicate with presence and availability. Okay, so that means he's doing something else while you talk about your feelings. He's like, yeah, okay, looking at his watch, and like, yeah, okay, okay, yeah, okay, all right. He's not there. He's already like releasing dopamine from some other goal which is already made. So he's really not there. He's like, no, I have a goal of waking up early in the morning. I have to sleep now. Then you're like, dang. Then the man is like, what about my goals? What about what I wanted to do? What about what I wanted to strategize with you? You know, what about that? I mean, first you haven't prioritized my goals, you know, and then the relationship is dying. So you see which one it is. It's one of these two, and then start communicating with a proper rules. Okay, so we're ready for the rules of communication. I'm going to teach you a few rules, 4 or 5. That's it. Okay. So before we go there, do you have any questions? If you have any questions, you can ask. All right. Radha is saying lots of complaining at work means those women aren't getting heard from their men. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, of course. Lots of complaining means oxytocin is not being released. They're not feeling secure. And so they just complain, and then they feel secure for a bit because oxytocin. Namak sundli. Okay? So be careful of this namak ishka. Now, when my hubby tells me, spelt it clearly when I go round and round. Understood now. Spell it clearly when I go round and round. Yeah, that's right. Now you understand the differences. Okay, good, good. No questions. So we're going to get into the rules of relationships. Oh, wait, there's a question. What happens when both of them have belittled each other? Does the relationship die? Yes, of course. I mean, it's difficult unless someone is practicing yoga for them to let go. Okay, they just don't know how to let go. So they'll keep holding on to it, and they'll never see you as valuable if you're a woman. And if you're a man, you'll never see them as capable. This is the biggest thing. So women are feeling are implying that men are incapable. Men are implying that women are not valuable. And this is breaking and killing all relationships. Okay, it's very hard to repair because the other person has to not have an addiction. If they've already got an addiction to solve their problem, then what are you going to solve? You'll be after the addiction. You'll be trying to remove the addiction. Intuitively, you know this addiction is stopping him from communicating with me, or stopping her from communicating with you. You can't do anything about the addiction, right? So most of my relationships have broken up because of the addiction of the other person not being able to value and strategize with me, and stand shoulder to shoulder with me, and then speak to me about my goals. Right? So I don't feel cared for. Okay. Anyway, but they felt a lot of oxytocin because I was really present in all the relationships. When The lot of Rona Dhona also produces oxytocin. So it's difficult, man. People have to be responsible for their own brain chemicals. Okay, they can't get it like this. Like you have to get it in a legal way, but nobody explained it to you. But now it's been explained to you, so don't screw up now. Okay, and take decisions. Sometimes the relationship is over. If it's over, it's over. Next one, acha kar lena bhai. Because you learned something, है ना? Who wanted to be good in their first relationship? I'll pick up the guitar and play like Eric Clapton. नहीं होगा. You're going to be shit in your first relationship. है कि नहीं? Second also, third also, fourth, fifth, sixth also. Maybe 10th relationship you'll get very good by then. Okay. So please enlighten how to make it work with different cultures like Indonesia and China where they don't open up much. You can't make it work unless you open up much. Okay. So you do it. Give people value. What is there to open up here, man? I'll give you the rules of communication, then you'll understand. Okay? All right, let's start. Okay, rules of communication. Leave your questions in the box. I will answer all of them. Have a clear outcome in mind for every communication. How many people do this? Before you open your mind, up your mouth, why don't you think, what is the outcome that I want from this? How's that for a rule? Have a clear outcome. Even in the back of your mind, you don't have to sit and articulate every outcome. Oh, in this outcome, I want them to feel like this. Not like that. You have a feeling what you want in mind and be in that feeling already. So, whatever the outcome you want, you know how the outcome will make you feel. Be in that feeling when you make the communication. You understand? Otherwise, you look fake, like you're trying to get something, you're trying to feel some particular way, and you're desperate for that, and you're trying to steal this out of that. Something and all will get communicated. So you think about it, right? You want to communicate to someone about some mistake that they made. What result do you want? You want them to correct their mistake. Okay, this much clarity people don't have. It's already become about you're just like my mother. Okay, so this much clarity they don't have. If someone has made a mistake, we want them to correct their mistake. And when they correct their mistake, you will feel secure. So feel secure while communicating. If you don't feel secure while communicating, you will get the result of the communication will be the feeling that you had before the communication. Let that sink in, okay? The feeling that you had before the communication will be communicated. So make sure to get yourself into the right feeling that you want to have after the communication. Think of times that this person has made you feel secure and then connect to those bits. Guys, it's like dialing a number. Before you can speak to someone, you have to dial the number. And then if you change the number by one digit also, it will go to somebody else. It will go to Akash in Rajasthan. Okay. So you have to get the digits right if you want to talk to one particular person. In the same way, when you're communicating to someone, you're transmitting some information and you want a particular result. You want to feel a particular way after this communication, relieved. You have to start from a place of relief. How does that feel? When was the last time I felt relieved and free with this person? And then you pull that feeling, you connect to that, let the connection get established. Then first the phone rings. Tring, tring. You wait until the connection is established. Once it's established, you say, "Yeah, I got you on the line. I got this feeling on the line, and now I'm going to talk to this person." Then you'll not lose sight of where you want to go. Shouldn't you put it in the map where you want to go before you go somewhere? Think of communication as a journey. Don't make it mapless. Every communication is an arrow. It has to go and hit a particular target. What is that target? Nobody knows. Just communicate. because you have a tongue, blah, 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 blah. My God. I used to get so frustrated because I had stammering my whole life. It just miraculously stopped at 32 after I met my guru. I had stammering my whole life. So I had to just listen to people talk. And I was like, my God, they don't have idea why they're talking. Just open mouth, trash comes out. Close mouth. Why is my relationship not good? Open mouth, trash comes out. Close mouth. I wonder why everything is falling apart around me. Open mouth, trash comes out. Close mouth. I just don't feel secure in this relationship because trash is coming out of your mouth because you are in a trash feeling and you don't know how to control your feeling. Okay, so those who want to learn how to control their feelings, this is called Bhukti Siddhi. I have a course for it. Okay, so if you really want to save your marriage or even get out of your marriage or any such bullying that is happening at work or any other such problems that you want to that is draining your energy and killing you, invest 15,101 rupees, sorry, 111 rupees. Okay, 15111 is all it costs, and it's a continuous engagement with me for 6 weeks. Okay, I'll be coaching you personally. You won't have any problem if I coach you personally. Okay, ask anyone who I've coached personally, they'll get it, they'll get their solution. All right. And it involves a spiritual practice that I learned from my guru, which is called Bhavana Diksha Vidhi. Okay. Bhavana Vidhi. So if you practice the four aspects of Bhavana Vidhi, you'll be able to separate yourself far away from every emotion in your mind and look at the emotion and choose your emotions properly. Otherwise, whatever you're trying to save is going to die. Okay, so be careful and don't self-medicate on this one. Take the medication. Okay, all right. I see why my communication with my parents fails often. I've not yet been able to clearly see what outcome I want. Eh. Wait, there are four rules. Already people are celebrating. Like, now I know it. No, wait, just a minute. Okay, second rule, communicate only when you have their full attention. That means you have to say something to get their full attention. Okay, like a hook. If you don't know how to make a hook, you cannot hook people's attention. And nobody practices making a hook. They walk in rambling, and people lose concentration on what you're saying after your fourth or fifth sentence because you're not coming to the point. So, what is this conversation about? You have to throw a hook that will make that person listen. Hey, this conversation is about how, whatever. You have to talk for the outcome. Like here, this video says how to secure your relationships with effective communication. That's a hook, right? Who doesn't want secure relationships? Your ears are open. Yeah, okay, what is this? And you're hooked. Okay, that's why 31 people are here, right? Now 32. Okay, good. So, uh, because this hooked you, and that's why you came. Okay, so you have to get their full attention. You have to become an expert at getting their full attention. Who's going to teach you this? Me, in my course. Okay. Then become aware of how you feel before you communicate. This I already told you, right? You have to have a clear outcome how you want to feel. Become aware of how you want to feel. It's not enough to have a clear feeling. You have to become aware of how you feel and check, am I in that state? Okay. And then the last one is evaluate if the communication was received as you intended. This is so important. You have to check because you can fail at this and you'll be failing. Okay. So, for the first week, I give people meditation so that they can separate their mind and they become very aware of their emotion and they get emotional control. From the next week onwards, I start teaching them how to communicate. It's only through communication that you'll get what you want. There is no other way. Okay? All right. So now I'm going to answer some questions, and your questions that you asked will be already answered, because that's how that's how easy it is. When you know, you know. Okay, so I got this here. Lakshmi is asking, mostly I have observed, including me, ineffective in communication at home and lose patience and maybe think why others can understand. At the same time, I'm having effective communication outside my house and in all other contexts of my life. Why is it so? Because at home, you're making a lot of, you're getting into a bad feeling at home, first of all. You don't want to be in the feeling that, you know, it should come out, right? Anyway, you're part of the Diksha, Lakshmi. Don't worry. This week, we'll do like military training on this. But for others listening, uh, you know, it's because you're rubbing the person the wrong way by your implications. That's all. You rubbed everyone the wrong way by your implications and you made them go far away from you. So maybe they started it, but it's also your responsibility to not continue it. Okay? So you have to learn that. The other thing, is there a way to communicate in silence too? Uh, yes, of course. But why do you ask? Why are you asking this question? I don't understand. Don't take this answer of mine and then plug it into somewhere where you have to communicate. Okay? So you should know difference between where is silent communication. Like with my guru, I have silent communication all the time. Yeah. Literally hear his voice in my head sometimes. So yes, it's possible. Why not? It's called telepathy. Okay? But for those who are not telepathic, please open your mouth. Okay. Ravi is asking, sorry for the long question. I, on principle, avoid taking or talking when topics I'm not comfortable or if I don't share a common viewpoint. No, that's not enough. Because when you don't share a common viewpoint and if you go silent, that means you're just withdrawn because you've not been valued. And if you want that relationship, then you have to explain how you're not being valued in this discussion. That's about it. Explain it that when you go there, I feel that I'm not valued because of these reasons. Or I'm afraid to talk about these things because they lead to controversies. Just be clear. Yeah. A couple of instances where you're first and after that you'll be judged. So you can say, I fear how I'll be judged if I speak. So really, I don't feel free to speak here. I'm not feeling safe about it. So it's better I keep silent. Okay. And it's the truth. You don't feel safe around these people. Don't hang out with them. So simple. Okay. Don't respond. Like, don't be there because you're not compatible. It's not working. To be specific, I don't believe in gender fluidity. I believe in transgenderism and even accept if a transgender is only a mental association. They feel they're a different gender, not genetically. Rah, rah, rah. How are gender? Do you know they don't care about your opinion? So, if you don't believe in gender fluidity, like gender fluid people also don't care about your opinion, right? However, gender fluidity is not making up one's mind. That's your judgment, right? Pram- Pramanams of siddhas and rishis that can change gender or become genders are rules of their realm and they are not to be confused with us mortal humans. Why not? Humans can become rishis. Nonsense. This is my stance, and I know that my stance could hurt the person who kept forcing me to talk. Yeah, so get your head out of your ass, man, and start respecting people. No matter how they appear to you, they're all manifestations of God. I have avoided it for now, saying that I need to read into research in this field for committing to an idea. Come on, man. Just be clear that, hey, I don't respect you about this. And I respect you for these things, but I don't think I'll be able to continue to respect you because it's slipping out of my mind. My mind is obsessed only about this. So let's not really have any long term goals because we're just not compatible and get out with it. Okay. I've ruthlessly struck down people forcing me to talk on conspiracy theories. But this gender fluidity is a sensitive issue. How do I deal with this? By opening your mind, man. By stopping. See, when you do this, you also get one sasta nasha, right? Illicit drug is released in your brain saying, yeah, I'm so smart, I figured it out, I'm better than everyone. And you're just, but you're not better than everyone, right? And your brain is releasing this serotonin, which is undeserved. And that serotonin gets pulled back and you'll be in depression. Okay? So don't do that. Don't judge people like that harshly. They can do whatever they want and they can be whoever they want. Who are you to tell them what makes them happy? You don't have the right. Okay. Next question is, I find that when I'm talking to someone who's cooler than me or more high status or a girl whom I find attractive, my mind goes blank. And I can't think of anything to say because what you're feeling is I'm not good enough. If you're not feeling, if is that the result you want from that conversation? Remember, I said you should feel the way that you want that you want, the result that you want. You should come from there. You should get in touch with the last time you felt it, and you should come from there. Okay. So you're talking to someone cooler than you. What do you want, first of all? And what will you feel like when you get it? You want to be accepted by them. And how will you feel like when you get it? You'll feel cool, calm, and connected to this person. So feel cool, calm, and connected to this person already. When was the last time you were cool, calm, and connected? Yeah, I connected with my friend Sham yesterday evening. I was cool, calm, and collected. So in the same way, I'll get into that state, and I communicate with this person. So whatever I say will come out as cool, calm, and collected, and I'll get that result, right? It's not difficult, man. Stop making it rocket science and shivering and shaking in your hands, and oh my god, so much drama. This is what happens when you release like illegal drugs. No, even fear is an illegal drug. So when you're afraid, uh, you release oxytocin. So you're getting high on oxytocin, and that is reducing dopamine in you. Oxytocin and dopamine are kind of like they 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 can't be produced in the same body at the same time. Okay, they're not compatible to be equally produced. So if the body prioritizes oxytocin production, then dopamine goes down, and that's what starts your shivering and shaking hands. Okay. When I'm around people I'm comfortable with, funny things come up in my mind naturally, and I'm able to keep talking on and have a fun vibe. I've already advised you how to fix this. Please fix it. It's very simple. Okay. All right. And if you can't fix it, I'm there to help you. Bhavana Diksha is there. Come and learn. Okay. Spend some rupees. I'll help you. Okay. So, how to get attention during electronic communication? By saying something that hooks you, right? This is an electronic communication. How to secure a relationship with effective communication. Yeah. If you want to work extensively on this, then please join my course. Okay. We'll do it. Divishri Singh, now I get it. It's fake oxytocin release when you know how you communicated and felt happy, only to realize later that it will not get the outcome. Yeah. You released oxytocin in advance. Okay. How can I learn to be sure of what is implied, if it's accurate or something imagined? Look, what you received, and here's the last rule of communication. Okay. Communication is what is received. It doesn't matter what is transmitted. What counts as communication is what is received, because that goes into your subconscious and makes changes in your body. So if you're responding to it negatively, then it's already, it doesn't matter if it's accurate or not been implied, it's already made its effect on your body. Okay, so be very careful with your words and be very positive with your implications. You cannot control implications consciously. You have to learn meditation. That's why I teach my students meditation first. When you can meditate, then you can control what's going on in your brain. Okay. Does it mean, Guruji, that whenever we don't feel free to express our views, we should exit from those people and situations? No, it doesn't mean that. It means you come back to your goals. What is it that you want? And get into that state of mind when you would already have that with that person. And then speak from there. You're more likely to get what you want. Okay. Okay. So this increases your attraction and magnetism very much. How many of you think you can understand this talk by listening to it once? Type I am overestimating myself. IAOMS. Type IAOMS in the chat box. If you think by listening to this talk once, you can get it. Please listen to this talk at least 10 times. It'll start sinking in. Okay, everybody? Okay, that's my last message to you. Do you have any more questions? Otherwise, we can close this. You have to spend 10 hours on this, listening to this again and again. And then it'll go into your brain. All right. Because this my inner Mahishasur hears only what it wants to hear, consumes but cannot digest. Okay. Good. All right. So listen to it many times. If you have no questions, type NQ in the chat box, please. Type NQ in the chat box if you have no questions. Or type your question if you have a question. Okay. Mangesh says no questions. All right. Thank you all for being here. And I'll see you again next week. Okay. Next week, we can cover the other topic which you guys voted for, the second one. All right.